But yeah, I'm here now though. So never fear, I am here. I'm very excited about this stream that I'm gonna be doing. Because this game is one that I have extremely fond memories of, and I've enjoyed playing it way back in the day in my childhood. I'm gonna be playing King's Quest 6, Heir Today, Gone Tomorrow, and this game, it came out in 1992, October 1992 actually. It is, as you might have guessed, the 6th entry in the King's Quest series. The King's Quest games were developed by Roberta and Ken Williams, and it was published by Sierra. Sierra published all of the King's Quest games, and we're talking about an era where adventure games, 2D adventure games, walk around, click on stuff, and try to solve puzzles. This was the golden age of that era, and certainly King's Quest 6 is arguably the best game from that genre of 2D scrolling adventure games. And certainly, if you've played any of the Telltale games, like Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us, and those style of games today, certainly they got a lot of elements from these older games, like King's Quest. There is also Space Quest. There is Police Quest. Monkey Island games are another example of this type of game that was very successful back in this day and age. And then they kind of lost some popularity until Telltale really brought back the adventure game genre. I'm also aware that I am streaming during the 2019 NFL Draft. So I do have on my phone. I'm going to get updates on the picks. I'll announce those to you guys, anybody that's interested in what's going on with the NFL Draft. So I'll also be doing that while I'm playing King's Quest 6. But yeah, certainly I like all of the entries in the King's Quest series. I should say I like King's Quest 1 through 7. So there are 7 there are actually 8 main entries in the game. The first 7 are what mainly the King's Quest fans consider the main bulk of the universe. And then they did make a King's Quest 8, which was a 3D adventure game, and it really changed a lot. Like King's Quest 1 through 7, they're all the same, like they're 2D painted artwork, and you're walking around a 2D world with your characters. But the 3D version, it had very mixed results, not received great, and it does not really hold up today very well. So people don't really talk about that game too much in terms of King's Quest. And there was actually a King's Quest game made, I think in 2014 or 2015, like 4 or 5 years ago. The Odd Gentleman, which is an indie developer, they worked with the Williams that created King's Quest to create a new King's Quest game. Was not considered the 9th entry in the series. It was just called King's Quest, and it was a 5-chapter series, similar to how Telltale does their series of different adventures of King Graham. And King Graham is kind of the protagonist, the most known character in the King's Quest universe. King's Quest 6 starts with Prince Alexander, which is King Graham's son. And to give you guys a little background on that, Alexander basically in King's Quest V, all you need to know is that they were locked up, and he was locked up with some princess, a princess named Cassima, who's from the land of the Green Isles. And basically they got rescued by King Graham, their father, or Alexander's father, and then Cassima went back to the land of Green Isles, and she presented him an open invitation to come visit her sometime. So Alexander is now questing to the land of the Green Isles to see Princess Cassima. And so that's where we are starting. Hold up. Should be hearing the music. But let me now, I want to do my game playing screen so that you guys can actually see me play the game instead of looking at me. And here we go. So I'm just going to play it from the beginning. We'll see how far I get. I'm not really looking at any walkthroughs or anything, so this is all through memory of the game. Now, people who don't know this game...
Alexander awakens to find himself on an unfamiliar beach. For a moment, he is too dazed to remember how he got here.
That's right. So he was sailing to the land of the Green Isles.
He does remember
they crashed.
The shipwreck, the sea. Just as he had seen his men safely into the lifeboats, a gigantic wave picked him up and tossed him overboard into the churning sea. That was the last he'd seen of his crew. Debris from the shipwreck is scattered along the shore, but of the lifeboats and his men, there is thankfully no trace. He can only hope and pray that the lifeboats survived the currents, and that his men made their way safely back to Daventry.
Yes, so Daventry is Alexander's homeland. So you guys might be saying, "Oh my goodness, this looks terrible. It's so pixely. Like can't even like see a mouth or eyes or anything on his face." It's like, what are you talking about? So you gotta remember that this came out in
Alexander picks up his royal insignia ring from the beach.
1992. So and also that people are playing on smaller computer monitor
Alexander
screens
pushes the plank to one
at
side.
the time.
A box has been partially buried under sand.
So, oh man, I can't even imagine watching this on like a 60-inch TV screen. Woo, the pixels on that. But the character portraits, when they show those, they look a little bit better.
Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it
Get to
is.
see that. But it's still, yeah, graphics do not hold up great, but the story to this game is great, and I think it holds up excellently. And I love the narrator to this game. Just does a fantastic job. I mean, the game wouldn't be the same without the narrator, honestly. So, the castle's over to our right, and it looks like we got a little town center to our left. So let's go explore that. And also, let me give you guys an update on the NFL draft. I'm still showing Arizona Cardinals on the clock, but that can't be right.
Old lamps for new! Old lamps for new!
Oh, hi, guy. Let's go talk to you. So what are you're selling lamps?
An old beggar is peddling his wares in the village. He offers a variety of lamps, all neatly lined up on a long pole.
Yeah, so with these games, back in the day, you had, I just press my right mouse button, so I have, I've got the walk button, so you click that when you want to walk somewhere.
For new! Old lamps for new!
You got walk, you've got touch, so if you want to pick something up, you've got look, and then you've got talk. So I'm going to go talk to this guy.
Good day, peddler.
Good day, sir. If you would like to get one of my fine new lamps, I'll need an old lamp in trade.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, I'd be richer than a king. Besides, there's always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
And in these types of games, it's always you always want to talk to somebody more than once because they could have something to say, more to say. Than
How
just
fare
one
you,
time.
peddler?
Hey, lad, have you an old lamp for me yet?
Sounds like he doesn't really have anything more to talk to us about. Fun shop over here.
Good day.
Well, good day. What's up, dude? So let's take a look
The
at
pawn
this
shop
guy.
owner is a mysterious fellow. His face is old and inscrutable, and there's a glint of sheer iron in his gaze. Still, Alexander senses this is someone he can trust.
This is a pretty cool looking bear too, man. That thing is intimidating. So I'm gonna go talk to this guy here.
Good day, merchant. Can you tell me what land this is?
By the moon's light, what a question. You must have been out too long in the sun, or perhaps knocked your head upon a rock.
No. Well, perhaps. I was in a shipwreck, you see. My crew and I were trying to reach the land of the Green Isles. I think, well, at least I hope, my men got away safely in the lifeboats. But I myself appear to be rather stuck here.
Ah, I see. You must pardon my incredulity, but it has been so long since we have had a foreign visitor. You wrecked your ship, young traveler, due to the currents and reefs around the islands. If your crew was wise enough to steer clear of the isles and head home, they should be fine. In any case, you have met your objective, however bumpy the journey.
You mean, this is the land of the Green Isles? Oh, thank the heavens! I had followed the stars, you see, and I thought I was close, but...
The stars? You must be quite a sailor. But what is the purpose of your
Just
visit?
follow the
I
stars.
come for... Well, I mean, I hope to see... I met some time ago.
Say no more. You are smitten with a maiden, are you not?
Oh,
What other than love could so confuse a man's tongue?
I'm afraid so. It is Princess Cassima.
By the desert sands, when you fall in love, you do not mess around, do you?
Is she here?
This is the Isle of the Crown, young man. The castle of the Crown stands on the hill. If it is Cassima you seek, that is where to look.
The Castle of the Crown. Thank you, merchant.
And good luck to you, lad. You shall need it.
I probably will need that. Alright.
Good
so-
day, merchant. What can you tell me about
see
the
what I
land
see.
of the Green Isles?
I can tell you she is in a dark time. Without the ferry, communication between the islands has ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the crown has not done something about it is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper, not a politician, and can only hope for better days.
Yeah, so Kyler Murray was indeed the first pick in the NFL draft by the Arizona Cardinals. So they've got a little bit of a quarterback conundrum there. They've got Kyler Murray and Josh Rosen. So I guess they're going to be looking to try to trade Rosen now. They only gave him 1 year. Kind of unfair, I think. But hey, that's life in the NFL. You don't do good, you got like 1 year, maybe two at the most, to prove yourself. And unfair or not, wasn't his time. CBS only gave that a C minus, so I guess the CBS people don't like Kyler Murray too much.
How bide you, good merchant?
Quite well, though a purchase would not hurt me any.
Alright, so let's take a look at the table here. At his goods, looks like he has a few things out for sale.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I see you have noticed my mechanical nightingale. She is made of plain tin, but she sings the sweetest song you can imagine, barely distinguishable from the real thing.
We got a nightingale.
The flute is only made of plain wood, but its notes are fine and true.
Flute.
Ah, yes, the painter's brush. It was well used by one of the island's best painters. There's a lot of creativity in that brush, and its bristles are still in good condition. Have you an interest in tinder boxes? This one is only slightly battered. It holds a good supply of flint, a sturdy striking pad, and even a candle in case you find yourself with naught else to hold the flame.
You know what? I think the nightingale sounds cool. I like birds. Let's get the mechanical
I'm interested in
nightingale.
that mechanical nightingale on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value, worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
Alright, well, let's see here. A copper or two. Well, I got this coin Daventry I found.
There's no
earlier.
point in using an object on itself.
Okay. So we've got the coin selected, I think. Oh, no, I do not. Okay, here we go. So I got the coin selected. We give it to him.
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
Alright, so let's see. I wanted that nightingale.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank you.
Okay, so we could come back if we can have one of the items at a time. So we could always trade back the nightingale for one of the other 3 items if we need. Now there's also this jar over here. Let's take a look at what that is.
Alexander searches for a way to reach the black-haired girl whose memory will not escape him.
It says that I just looked at myself, so he just said what we already knew. Curious what...
An elegant little glass dish decorates the countertop.
Okay, so what's
The dish is full of green mints offered for the enjoyment
Oh,
of the customer.
mints. Don't mind if I do. I like mints.
Alexander
Yummy.
takes a mint.
So you guys heard the little chime. That means you did something good. There's actually points in this game. So if I go to the main menu here, you can see my score. I've got 6 out of 31. So you can get up to 231 points. So I got me the mint. You know what? I'm hungry. I think Alexander's breath probably stinks from being in that shipwreck. I'm gonna try eating it.
Alexander eats the mint. Not bad. A little stale, perhaps.
There we go. So now we got good breath. Let's take another one.
Alexander takes a mint.
Alright. So I guess we're done in here. Let's take a look at that other store. So yeah, this game is definitely it's mostly just story. You're walking around talking to people, and then you're trying to figure out puzzles.
I will be right up.
The thing about the King's Quest games,
Now.
largely
What can I do for you?
influenced by fairy tales. So you'll see tale stories that they'll weave into these stories.
An old man occasionally steals sidelong glances at Alexander from under a concealing hood.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander.
What? Well, that's mean. Hey, yo. Touch him on the shoulder, like, yo, I was talking
For
to you.
some inexplicable reason, Alexander feels compelled to avoid this hooded old man.
Okay. He's not a friendly guy then, huh? Let's take a look at this guy, though.
The bookshop owner is a thin, middle-aged man. His intelligent eyes are slightly blurry from long nights spent reading by candlelight.
You kind of feel like playing through this game like you're almost playing through reading a book. This is a good way. Cool.
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands. The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you
Yeah,
kindly, merchant, for
Great
all your good
clarity.
advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
So yeah, all of those islands, including the one over the next. That's very cool about these games, and they're made so that anybody can play it, like they're family-oriented games. So it's like kids, you could have them play it. Like there's no like bad language or in it. And there's certainly some things that are kind of spooky. like man, there are some like this guy, he's kind of creepy, you know. And when you do get to the underworld, the king of the dead, he's a pretty spooky guy himself. So there's definitely like some darker undertones to these songs. But let's take a look at what
A stone
book.
fireplace gives the bookshop a quaint, cozy air.
Okay, but what about this book?
There's a book entitled The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages on the small table in the reading area. It appears that some regular customer likes that book.
Oh, let's take a look and see what it's all about.
Alexander feels his pockets carefully
Oh,
to make sure he hasn't lost anything.
Yeah, so that's kind of an annoying thing in the game. Is like, it thought I was clicking on him, but I'm trying to click on this book, so you have a little bit of that stuff going on.
Alexander rests his
It's an
feet for a
oldie.
moment.
I'll forgive it.
Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was
That's-
refreshing.
Oh, how amazing. Wasn't that fun? Okay, sorry guys, that was kind of boring. You know, I need to pick this up.
There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads,
Oh,
"Take one,
it's
please."
a great book.
Only one book remains on the table. It looks like the bookshop owner really wants to get rid of that book.
Go ahead.
Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Yeah, Nick Bosa. He's certainly a draft that's not quarterback. And he was the top player taken from Ohio State. So people around here definitely know Nick Bosa. We're a little bit disappointed and he was not able to return to the team.
Old lamps for new.
Okay,
Old lamps for new.
I don't need to tell us that anymore. So let's go ahead and roll over to the castle and see if I can meet up with Princess Casima. I mean, that's why I'm here, after all. Really like the in this game. And the fact that it was fully like 2 is very cool as well for the time that this game came out.
2 guards take their stance in front of the castle doors. They look quite fierce and have the stiff, blank expression of soldiers on formal duty. 2 guards take their stance in front of the castle doors.
I did not mean that. Okay. So let's go talk to these guards, huh?
Excuse me, guardsmen. Guard dogs. I've been traveling for months to see Princess Casima. I would like an audience, please.
I'm sorry, but the princess is not receiving visitors, particularly not strangers.
Now, this is Windows version of the game. So there was an MS-DOS version of the game, which was basically command prompt style operating system. And this game a not floppy disk. That's kind of crazy. If you don't know what floppy disk, you don't need to know. They're just little square nothing of data. So you can imagine how crazy that is. Like a small game like this, and it took 9 floppy disks. So that'll tell you it's so much better now. But the Windows version came out later. It updated like character portraits and talking, stuff like that. So
I really must see the princess. Could I speak with someone in charge?
Who are you that I should bother Captain Saladin, huh?
My name is Alexander. I am a prince of Daventry and a friend of the princess.
A prince, is it? I see. Yeah, and I am lord of this dusty path. Step aside. You'll not be getting into this castle without some proof of your claims.
You don't believe me? Can't believe it. Oh, I guess our best proof, we got this ring. So hopefully that'll convince them.
Alexander decides to try his royal insignia ring on the guards. With all of his papers lost in the shipwreck, it is the only possible proof of his identity that he can think of.
Perhaps this ring will convince you of my identity. It is the royal insignia ring of Daventry.
Ha! I'm sure. Just let me take a look at that ring. Well, I'm sorry, Your Highness. It's just
Yes.
that princess is so uncommon in these parts. Let me get Captain Saladin.
Cool. I guess we're getting an audience. I think it would be cool cool to get a remaster or remake of these games with more modern graphics sometime.
The guard returns a moment later with a majestic-looking creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that is gentle, but reflects a will of iron.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Vizier Alhazred will want to meet you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please, follow me.
Nice. Come here first. What are they doing talking to all these townsfolk? So we need to make sure we were at the Land of the Green Isles.
Lord Alhazred, a visitor to see you. Prince Alexander of Daventry.
What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander?
Pardon the intrusion, my lord, but I came to see Princess Cassima. Some months ago, my father, King Graham, saved my family and I from imprisonment under an evil wizard named Mordak.
The
Which
same
was
wizard that
Quest
kidnapped the princess?
Exactly. When my father rescued us, he also liberated Cassima and sent her home.
Then your father has my gratitude, and that of the entire kingdom. But I'm afraid I still fail to see the purpose of your visit.
Well, I came to make sure that Cassima arrived safely and to pay my respects. Before we parted, she gave me an invitation to visit.
I have no doubt she did exactly that at the time, Prince Alexander. However, things have greatly changed for Cassima since her ordeal in Mordak's castle. Cassima's parents both became ill and died while she was gone. Cassima is sequestered in mourning for them as befits a princess. She is not receiving visitors of any kind. Even if she were, I do not think your visit would be appropriate. You see, it is time for Cassima to take her responsibilities seriously. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. As was her parents' wish, Cassima and I are to be
This
wed.
guy's starting to get on
We
my
shall
nerves.
rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Cassima wants now. As a prince and a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment.
I see. I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Cassima...
Oh, game over.
Well, I
let's go.
apologize.
A young man
Everything's fine.
sees what he wishes to see. I'm sorry you've wasted your time traveling to the land of the Green Isles. May your journey home be swift.
Who's this crazy guy in the middle?
Perhaps
with the
I will take the
glinting gold
opportunity
eye?
to look around your fair land while I'm here.
Yeah.
I would advise against that.
What?
The kingdom is rather, shall we say, inhospitable these days.
Oh.
But it is your neck. You may risk it if you please. Captain Saladin will escort you from the castle. Good day.
Bye. Well, that didn't quite go as well as I hoped.
You have had your hearing with Vizier Alhazred. I trust you will respect his wishes and not return. I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord.
Captain Saladin whispers something to the guard dogs at the castle gate, and they nod with understanding. Alexander has a feeling they won't be letting him into the castle again.
Oh. Breathman? You guys want Breathman? I'm sure that.
I really must get inside the castle to see the princess. Perhaps this will convince you.
Begone! We have no interest in anything you carry. You are not welcome at the castle.
Oh, that hurts. These breath mints are so stale and refreshing. So I guess let's go back. We heard that there's a ferryman, and I mean the ferry's out, but maybe we can convince him to let's explore some more. I mean, I know this guy just told us to leave, but I don't exactly have a way to get off of this island, so maybe the ferry guy can help me with that. And just so you guys know, the third pick in the NFL draft was Quinnen Williams. The Jets picked Quinnen Williams, another defensive lineman. So that should definitely improve the Jets for this coming year. We'll see if he can get to Baker Mayfield when he plays them in week 2. Somehow I think the Jets still have some work to do before they get to that point. Well, hello!
The girl is too far away to hold a conversation with Alexander.
Who are you?
I've told you 1,000,000 times. Those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you.
What? Who's this?
You've still got to do the breakfast
Cranky
dishes,
lady.
make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning.
So mean.
And get your veil back on. No one wants to look at your face.
Wow, how horrible.
Yes, stepmother.
How mean. Let's take a look at these flowers.
Red roses beautifully cover the top of the house's fence and gate arbor.
Yeah, there's a bunch of flowers. I'm sure they won't mind if I take one.
Alexander has not been invited to pick the family's
What?
roses.
So what? They're inside. Nobody's gonna see. There's like 100 roses. What? You can't take one. Well, let's go knock
Alexander
on the door.
doesn't want to intrude on private property unless he's been invited.
What? I'll just walk up to the front door so I can knock on the door and say hi. You know, friendly person. What do you mean you don't want to go intrude? Whatever. Let's go keep walking along. Crazy. Oh, found the pier. Oh, hey, there's a guy swimming.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful,
Oh.
and I can show you the way to the next island.
Oh, perfect. I was wanting to explore and find the other islands. Just let me save the game first, you know? I'm sure nothing bad will happen, but, it never hurts to save. Okay. Oh, whoops. I just skipped past that guy's talking. I'll
Good
go ahead
day.
and talk to
I'm Alexander. What are you doing in the sea?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm swimming.
Yeah.
I mean,
Looks
come
fun.
join me. The water's wonderful. I can show you the way to the next island. What do you...
Whoops. He was just saying, what do you wait
A young
for?
boy is happily swimming in the sea off the docks.
Ah, you know what? I could use a nice swim. Whoa.
That's strange. The young boy in the water just
disappeared?
disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove
Maybe
under
I
the
need
water.
to go rescue him. He just waves by. Like, bye.
The currents around the island pull Alexander
no.
under. As Alexander struggles to the surface for the third and last time,
Bad idea.
he finds himself wishing he'd paid more attention to the warning signs of an undertow.
But that guy was swimming in it. Oh.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Nothing like getting swept off your feet.
And that's what happens when you die in this game. Yeah, you go to the underworld. So let's go ahead and restore. Where we saved? Good thing I saved, you know.
Come on, jump in. A little water won't hurt you.
Oh, I know better than that now, you crazy boy. I don't know how you're swimming in there, but...
What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
Yeah, I ain't falling for that garbage anymore. Hey, wait, you've got a little gold shiny eye. How come you got that?
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
I keep seeing people with gold eyes in this place. What does that mean? Okay, so we're on some wrecked boat. I'm assuming this is the ferry, and the ferryman should be in this door here.
Now, what do you want?
Wow, what a nice entrance. Hi.
Alexander promises himself.
Whoops.
The boat does not
Oh,
reply.
come on. I want to talk to the guy.
Alexander
Stop!
Go away! The ferry's out of...
Ah, whatever. Come on. Okay. See, this is where it's kind of nuts. You gotta click in exactly the right spot. It's kind of like...
I said the ferry's out of business. What do you want to keep bothering me for?
I want to talk to you, man.
Alexander
Stop it!
Alexander
Stop it!
Excuse me.
Thank you.
My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you.
Yeah. Good
Well,
thing
don't
we
just
made a
stand there. Come on
connection
inside.
With Allie, the bookkeeper.
What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
That's a good question.
It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such
Stolen
thing.
property?
'Tis a
Oh,
real
no.
shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Map. Interesting.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations
of
between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly.
Oh, no.
Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
Okay.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around, always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
Oh, I don't wonder sounds good. I like humor.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
That sounds cool.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next.
Very
Of course,
scientific.
that's just silly talk.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's
Okay,
a
so
lovely
looks
spot.
like,
A
he's
bit crazy, mind
cycling
you.
now.
Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
Oh, it looks like there's something on this table here, so... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna offer him this mint. Everybody loves a mint.
Would you be at all interested in this?
Nah, what need is a poor dry dock ferryman for
I
that?
have bad breath. Yeah, I like a mint.
There's a
What is
rabbit's
this
foot
on
on
the
the table. It seems the ferryman is counting on a little luck.
Rabbit's foot. That sounds cool. Yo, can I have this?
There's nothing of interest on that particular part of the table.
What do you mean?
There's nothing of
What?
The ferryman seems to be the only one in the cabin to address.
Well, what about this?
There's a rabbit's foot on the table.
Yeah, I want that.
It seems the ferryman is counting on a little luck. There's nothing of interest on that particular part of the table.
Okay, well, I guess the rabbit's foot is not interesting at all. Well, hey, you want a book?
Would you be at all interested in this?
Nah, what need is a poor dry dock ferryman for that?
Well, you know, you look pretty bored. You might want a boring book to read. How about this?
Would you be at
Mechanical
all interested
Nightingale.
in this?
Nah, what need is a poor dry dock ferryman for that?
Sound of birds. Nice. Hey, how about my ring?
Would you be interested in this ring?
I don't need charity. I won't take nothing from no man till I get back in business and can earn my own keep.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you?
Oh,
Perhaps
don't mind
giving the
if I
darn
do.
thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
Ah, so we got a couple more picks came in the NFL draft. We've got Clelin Farrell was drafted by the Oakland Raiders. Another defensive lineman. Rushing the quarterback. It's a big thing. CBS only gave this one a C. They gave Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams an A, by the way. So people are not liking John. Well, CBS is not liking John Gruden's picks very much. And then pick number 5 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Devin White, a linebacker out of LSU. CBS gives that a B. So New York Giants would be the next pick that I'll be keeping you guys updated on. So we got this rabbit's foot now, so that's cool. Wonder what this picture is on his wall.
Alexander is sitting inside the ferry's cabin. The place displays the neatness of a seaman and the sparseness of a bachelor. There are few frills and comforts in the rough wooden environment, but the sunlight shines cheerily on the oaken beams, and the portholes admit a pleasant breeze.
Yeah, it seems like a nice enough guy. Do I get to talk to him? Yeah.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
They ended up being pretty friendly after all. Alright, well, I guess we should go try to find out some more about this magic map we're hearing so much about. So yeah, this beginning part of the game has just been mostly story stuff, you know, go talk to everybody. Learning the intro of everything. Not really many puzzles yet. Besides figuring out exactly where to click. I really like the town music. Alright, pawn shop guy.
Old lamps for new. Old lamps for new.
Hey, I know about your lamps. I don't got no lamps for you, dude. Whoa!
Good day.
It's the hooded guy again. Hey, he's golden eye. All these people with golden eye. What is this guy? He's really fucking that bear, examining it.
A mysterious old man also patronizes the pawn shop. He steals sidelong glances at Alexander from under his hood.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Good day, sir.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply.
Friendly dude, huh? I was
For
talking
no
to
apparent reason, Alexander's flesh crawls at the mere thought of touching the old
It's
man.
even worse. Okay, well, let's go talk to pawn shop guy. I think that's what I was in here for. You keep staring at the bear.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable
easy
map,
enough.
as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
Equal values. How valuable is this? Well, how about the mechanical nightingale back so you could trade for that?
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Certainly not, stranger. Please, choose an item in exchange from those on the counter.
Wait, what about
Alexander looks closely at the
map?
items on the counter to make his selection.
Oh, there's the map. Okay, let's choose that.
Can I get the map in exchange for the item I just traded in?
Oh no, I could only exchange the map for something quite valuable. Please choose one of the other 4 counter items, sir.
What do you mean? Okay.
I'm really not interested in anything on the counter at this time.
As you wish. Allow me to return your item for trade.
Okay, you do that. Okay, I get the mechanical nightingale back. Okay. Okay, maybe this rabbit's foot. Maybe he wants some luck, huh?
Would you be interested in making a trade for this, merchant?
A rabbit's foot. I do not believe I could use that.
What? You don't want luck? About the book. The boring old book. The
Would
guy
you
was
be
giving
interested
away
in
for
trading
free.
for this book?
I am afraid not. Books are more my neighbor's line of work. After all, I would not want him selling curiosities.
It's called competition, dude. Okay, I'm down to the ring. I don't think he would want a mint of his own, so I'm just gonna not even try that one.
Would you be willing to
Wow.
take my family
Get a
ring
ding.
in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Yeah.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you.
Okay, back to the beach.
You are very kind. And I'll remember about the map.
Oh, whoops, dark hooded guy's coming over.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander,
Hey, dude.
and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar.
I saw that. I saw that. He caught
The
you.
old man stuffs the mint into his mouth
Whoa, he's
and
getting
wobbles
excited over that
unsteadily
mint.
out of the pawn shop.
Having a little trouble walking there. Seconds later, in the castle.
Master! I followed
he
Prince
drunk?
Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map.
Oh, this guy, what a great
You
follower.
fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop
Oh,
that.
does mints make you drunk? Interesting mints.
Yes. Master.
I ate one of those.
Now, what is
Alexander
this
must
about
be,
a magic
like,
map?
drunk too, or high. I
With
don't
the
know.
map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly, quickly as I can.
Man, he's really messed up.
I thought I took care of the only means of travel.
By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now.
Just
Get a
once,
hold of
you
yourself
go
and listen
ahead.
carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Oh, I guess we don't get to know what they were gonna tell the other islands. Well, I'm ready to go. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and explore some of these other islands. I'm gonna go ahead and try to go to each one of them and just see the beginning parts of them, and then. Oh hey, there's a nightingale up in this tree.
A nightingale perches on a high branch of the tree. She sings the most beautiful song Alexander has ever heard.
Oh, well, I've got a mechanical nightingale. You want to see that? Oh, it's flying off. Hold up. I think, oh no, hold up. Wait. Oh, wait. I just walked away. I think I needed to do something with that nightingale. I think I needed my mechanical nightingale to play it. Well, I'm gonna go back and see if that nightingale's there. Oh, it is. Okay, so I can still do that. So, just an update on the NFL draft. With pick 6, the New York Giants selected Daniel Jones, quarterback out of Duke University. So that's a little bit of a surprising move for them. Not that they picked a quarterback, they did need somebody to replace Eli. But the rumors were that they might take Dwayne Haskins, the Ohio State quarterback. But instead they went with the guy from Duke. CBS clearly does not like this move. They gave it a D. And then with the 7th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars selected Josh Allen, which is another defensive lineman rusher from Kentucky. Not to be confused with the Josh Allen that was picked in last year's draft, quarterback from the Buffalo Bills. And CBS gave that pick an A, so an A for Josh Allen. Okay, now let me do this mechanical nightingale here. Oh, I get a ding. That's the right thing to do.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it on the ground.
Oh, I finished. Sounds just like a nightingale.
The mechanical nightingale sings a sweet, tinny tune. The real nightingale in the tree cocks her head and listens intently. The nightingale
it's coming
flies to a
closer.
lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that
Hello.
this human might not be so bad.
Yeah, see, I'm a nice guy. Whoa! Eric just got Days Gone, except I don't think he wants it.
Although the nightingale seems interested in Alexander, she would never allow him close enough to grab her.
So do I have? Do I try the mechanical nightingale?
Alexander winds the... It plays its pleasant tinny tune. The living nightingale in the tree listens to the tune curiously.
Okay, I don't think I can do anything more with the nightingale. Unfortunately. I was thinking there was something that you could put in the ground and the nightingale would go and pick it up and take it to Cosima, and then Cosima would send like a note back with the nightingale that Alexander could read. I forget exactly what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and use the magic
There's
map.
no reason to bury that in the sand.
I'm not trying to bury it in the sand. I'm trying to read the magical map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Ah, best line in the game. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Love that. So what did the ferryman say? So we could go to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. There's the Isle of Wonder. The Isle of the Crown is where we are. And then there's the Isle of the Beast. So those are what we have to choose from. I think the ferryman said the Isle of Wonder is the one that has some humor to it. So let's
Alexander
go to
feels
the
a
Isle of
strange
Wonder.
pulling sensation.
Where all we have to do is think about where we're going, and whoop! We just get pulled right off there. Oh, what is this? So it looks like there's a ribbon in the
A
ocean
string of
here.
letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup, but this is ridiculous.
Huh. Do I try to get the ribbon? Pick it up?
Alexander doesn't want to taste the salty seawater.
No, I want to pick up the ribbon.
Alexander doesn't want to taste
I
the
didn't even
salty
click.
seawater.
Stop it. Oh, ribbon moved. Aha, it's going out after it.
The ocean currents tug at Alexander's legs.
Oh,
That object is just a bit out of reach.
darn. I don't want to push it. Since I haven't saved, I need to save.
Come on, jump in. A little water won't hurt
I
you.
was trying to save the game, and I just loaded. Oops, that was restore, not save. Gosh darn it, you stupid game. Maybe the autosave I can restore from it. Maybe it autosaved something? I don't know. Well, whoops. That will teach you. You should always try saving to a new save game and never over your old one. Well,
What are you waiting for?
over an
I said
hour
I'd show you.
through. I don't want to have to replay a bunch of what I just did for you guys.
That's strange. The young boy in the
Yeah,
water
so,
just
we've
disappeared.
done our
Oh well,
hour
perhaps he just dove under the water.
look at the game. If people watch this and they're like, "Hey, King's Quest 6, I want to see the rest of the game," or something like that. I mean, it is a pretty short game. You can complete it in like 7 to 10 hours, I'd say. So we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. I definitely really like this game. I hope you guys got a good intro to the game. Maybe you're interested in it. Maybe not. Maybe you're bored. The game does get a lot better. There's some really cool moments, and I was about to show you one right there, but I guess I'm gonna call
Taking
it
off your
quits
adventurer's cap so
for
soon?
now. Yeah, unfortunately. I made a whoopsie. So thank you guys for tuning in. Now I'll give you guys one last update on how the NFL draft is going. The Detroit Lions with the 8th pick, they picked T.J. Hawkinson, the first besides quarterbacks, the first offensive player taken. He's a tight end out of Iowa, T.J. Hawkinson to the Detroit Lions. This is an interesting pick, a tight end for Detroit. I don't know, maybe he'll help them out. Got a blocker and a weapon that Matt Stafford could throw to. So that was that. I hope you guys enjoyed King's Quest 6. Very cool game. And I hope, I'll be posting this on the Take Aim Games channel on YouTube, and you can always catch me live Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'll go for up to 2 hours. Usually I just go 1 hour. I can go to 2 hours sometimes. So you just gotta stay tuned and watch, and you'll find out how long I go for, I guess. But yeah, you can also check out Dipless Carrot, his streams on when he streams on Twitch, Dipless Carrot, and he also posts on Take Aim Games channel, and then EK74U. Dipless was going to be streaming Days Gone that came out today, but it got very mediocre reviews. I think it's sitting at a 72 or a 73 on opencritic.com, which is not great. So he got kind of scared off by that. Canceled his pre-order for the game. I think he was originally going to be trying to stream that game, but bad review scores made him rethink that. So he's not going to be streaming Days Gone anymore. You mentioned something about maybe streaming Friday the 13th, and he might be doing something along the lines of what I'm doing, where he'll stream a different game at certain points, and give his impressions on them. Maybe not like super old games like I just played, but maybe newer games. I don't know. Whatever he wants to play, I'll let him play, and you guys can check those streams out. And then Eric will be getting Rage 2 whenever that comes out, says he'll be streaming that. But until then, you can always keep watching me. So hopefully I'm entertaining for you guys. If not, you can always leave comments. Let me know what I can do better, what you guys want to see. I know some people, they want me to do Cuphead. Maybe I'll do that game eventually. I know that Dominic, my friend that I play with on Xbox sometimes, he's a big multiplayer competitive game. You might want to try doing Apex Legends again sometime. We tried doing an Apex Legends stream one time, couldn't hear the party chat. May try that again sometime though, because I was told by somebody watching that it was pretty funny and pretty entertaining. So definitely want to be entertaining people at the same time as me having fun. I can try out my pacifist run in Apex Legends where I get no kills and my squad mates do all the killing, and I look like an idiot. Not purposely trying to look like an idiot, just me just looking like an idiot because I don't know what I'm doing in first-person shooters usually. But enough of me rambling on. You guys can check out our next Take Aim Games cast. It should be coming out this weekend. And with that, I hope you guys have a good night. And I'll see you on Tuesday.